Hey everyone, this is the Mad Master here. I'm doing a video today regarding another canceled person, and this time it is the famous comic book writer Warren Ellis. And as far as Warren Ellis goes, I can't call myself like the biggest fan, but I do like several of his works, including like Planetary or some of his work on Hellblazer, which is my favorite comic of all time, at least right now, and been a big comic book fan. So I think I read part of his Transmetropolitan. I thought it was okay. Like a lot of the DC 90s, late 80s through late 90s DC Vertigo comics. So I'm a big fan of that stuff. So when I read this whole controversy with Warren Ellis, I was intrigued. I was like, what did he do wrong? And I'm just going to give my critique and my take on the accusations that have been made. Now, as anybody that's watched my channel knows, I really like to look at the nuance of these accusations and these ideas, and of these ideas, and stuff, as far as whether or not there was some nefarious things done or not, or there's things that are overblown with regards to certain things because of our society at large, cancel culture and feminism and so forth. So I did read the document where these 60 women signed this document that said they blamed him of all sorts, or said all sorts of things about him. And I'm just going to go into some of the accusations and what I think about them. Now, there was definitely a SJW woke. SJW is 5 years ago, now it's called woke. Wokeism taint to some of these accusations. Like, for example, he's predatory because he goes after women that are 15 plus years younger. Well, I guess I could be canceled because my last girlfriend was 14 years and 8 or 9 months younger. Almost 15 years younger than me. Oh my God. Call the presses, call the police. She was 26 years old. Oh my God. I was grooming her for a whole 2 days. Oh my God, I should be canceled. This kind of shit is just fucking ludicrous. That kind of shit is stupid, okay? And the whole adult grooming thing, I find it problematic using that term, because I could say like a manipulation, subterfuge. Now I'm playing role-playing games because that's the two things of World of Darkness. Role manipulation, subterfuge to get laid. So yeah, it's manipulation. There's some bad things in there, and I'm just like, okay, some of these things are bad. I mean, some of these things are ridiculous. Like, essentially some of these women might have been groupies, sort of comic book groupies if they exist, totally nerd kind of thing going on. It's not like Motley Crue backstage in the 80s. I'll just say that. It doesn't look like that. So now this is going to surprise some of my viewers. I'm just going to say it up front. Some of the accusations are kind of warranted, or they are warranted, not kind of. Like if women kind of were, comic book writers themselves, and he had sex with them, and then they were trying to, climb the ladder and use him as a kind of a mentor or whatever. And then he dumped them and ghosted them or whatever. And this is one of the accusations that happened. And I'm with I think that's unethical, and I think it's fucked up. So I'm going to look at things with nuance. I'm going to say, just because you have casual sex with fans who are younger women or whatever, they're adult women, doesn't mean you're a scumbag. But at the same time, having manipulated women to think that they're going to, get a better job in the comic book industry and having sex with them and then kind of using them as a result is pretty fucked up. Those are my thoughts on the document. I think we have to look at these things with a grain of salt and, perspective. And I think a lot of people do not nowadays because they just want to cancel someone outright. He's atoning for his sins and all this stuff. Now, someone would argue that I'm totally off base. Like, I should just either accuse him of being just a total scumbag, or the opposite, like, oh, he did nothing wrong. Well, things have to to me, there needs to be nuance in this situation. Now, as with all these things, all these cultural touchstones that are happening with these people, I do worry about a slippery slope where all of a sudden, like if you're having sex with a fan, you're a scumbag or something, or you're a lecherous person by having casual sex with a lot of people or something. I mean, of course, they're never going to go after someone like Madonna or Courtney Love for, actually being on the other side of things, as far as using someone to get to a higher level up the chain, or Madonna being lecherous towards younger men, stuff like that. There's the power dynamics are flipped in that situation, but feminism, girl power doesn't matter, it doesn't matter as much. So it's fucking hypocrisy, of course. But yeah, the document made me cringe a lot, but I also agree with some of it. And, I think that's the only thing. I think it was let's say it was just a guy fucking fans, right? And he ghosted him or whatever. Well, I don't really see the problem as much in that situation. But like I said, if there's some unethical stuff going on, then that is the extent of that is the whole like idea that he was like, it was almost like the casting couch kind of thing. That's the bad thing about the whole thing. But I'm not going to say someone's famous and enjoying more sexual abundance that they're a scumbag automatically. That's ridiculous. Then you would have to half my wall of books, music posters. If we canceled everybody that ever did that, it'd all be gone. I'd have bare walls. It's ridiculous, and I think we need to look at these things, with a grain of salt. And I do worry that the wokeism in documents like this will perpetuate these ideas, as one thing I worry about. I don't like the idea that there is such thing as adult grooming. It makes women as a victim with no accountability for their own actions, or anybody that's in that situation. Now there are power dynamics and all that stuff, but I find it problematic, which is a total buzzword for those people too, of course. Problematic. So yeah, it's pretty stupid, some of it, but some of it's not stupid. But we just need to have an open discussion about this. What's acceptable? In this day and age, I don't know. I can't answer that question. I know if I were famous, and I mean more famous than I am, more famous than I was, and I was having that kind of abundance, how would I handle it? I don't know. I always have said that, I would probably go through a phase where I'm taking advantage of that. I don't mean like that, you know what I mean? Taking advantage of the opportunities, and it would be a phase, and then I would just meet someone and then just do that. I've always said that about any type of situation, that I want it to be a phase. Now, some people just choose not to do that, and maybe Warren Ellis is one of these people. I think there was some cheating and stuff going on too, which is bad. Some dishonesty. Why not just be polyamorous? That's fine, and be open and honest about stuff. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know. I'm sure that some of these people want to cancel polyamory because they think it's some kind of patriarchal construct of whatever. Actually, I do have a book about that, ironically, because I was kind of questioning the premises of Sex at Dawn years back that one of my friends was giving me. And I wanted to find out if there was like a alternate perspective. So I bought this book called Sex at Dusk, which is kind of like the anti-Sex at Dawn book. And my problem with some of these ideas is that it becomes ubiquitous and the rule is like, it just becomes like, oh, people are naturally polyamorous or naturally monogamous. I think both ideas are flawed. I think people have a spectrum of things in different situations in evolution too. So when these things kind of promulgate, it's kind of like, I'm going to use another musical metaphor, but it's like kind of like in the 90s when metal was just totally hated, right? And alternative was the king, and rap. It's like when any idea becomes ubiquitous, you got to watch out. We always got to question these things. Like, oh, metal's all bad. Oh, it sucks. It's wanky. It's cock rock. Oh, people said all sorts of stupid stuff back then. But, but yeah, is that true? It's somewhat true, right? So there's a lot of cock rock. There's a lot of wanky stuff, but it doesn't mean it's all true. Just like with our humans, naturally polyamorous. So don't get into a regular relationship because it's bad. Same on the other end. It's like, humans are naturally monogamous, and you have to date your wife for 5 years and then have sex with her on your wedding night. Just by not having any practice and knowing what to do. Both ideas are flawed, but that's about all.